What's up, guys? We are back this week with another episode of the A Game.
That's right. Join us as we recap this week in App State sports, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Snapchat at the A Game Sports for weekly updates on App State sporting news and all the latest on-set action.
This week on Mountaineer Spotlight, Marnie Bond hosts an interview that you don't want to miss. And stay tuned to hear our Player of the Week.
I'm Gray Salter.
And I'm Austin Lopp.
And this is
the A Game. Defensive end Demetrius Taylor forced 2 turnovers to help Appalachian State build a first-half lead this week at Kenan Memorial Stadium, and Darrington Evans rushed for 3 touchdowns as the Mountaineers won 34-31 against in-state ACC program North Carolina on Saturday. The Tar Heels reached App State's 39-yard line with 5 seconds left, and Akeem Davis-Gaither pushed through a gap in the line to tip a 56-yard attempt at a field goal as time expired. The second ever football meeting between the two schools, and first since 1940, drew a spirited, sold-out crowd at Kenan Stadium, and the Mountaineers posted their first win against a Power 5 conference team since the historic upset of Michigan in 2007.
Taylor led App State's defense by recording 2.5 sacks, turning one of them into a 20-yard fumble return for a touchdown and setting up another touchdown with an interception. Senior linebacker Jordan Fair matched his career high and led the game with 15 tackles. Evans's 3 touchdowns contributed to his 78 yards on the ground, and Zach Thomas threw for 224 yards himself. Evans's short yard touchdown run late in the third quarter provided some welcome separation for the Mountaineers. A 31-yard pass to Thomas Hennigan and a 43-yard pass to Malik Williams set up Evans's 2-yard touchdown run that increased the margin back to double figures. UNC advanced to the Appalachian 36 before Davis-Gaither made a diving interception to stop another scoring threat, and the Mountaineers were able to hold on after Howell's 2-yard keeper for a touchdown within 3 minutes. App State survived a frantic finish but turns its attention to next week's Sun Belt Conference opener against Coastal Carolina.
You know what time it is? It's game day here at Kenan Memorial Stadium, where the App State Mountaineers and the UNC Tar Heels are facing off for the right to be called the best college football team in North Carolina.
What looked to be a promising start for North Carolina in its game against Appalachian State quickly wasn't. The Tar Heels scored the first touchdown of the game on Saturday in 17 seconds, but after that, it was all App State. The Mountaineers forced 3 turnovers, 2 caused by defensive lineman Demetrius Taylor. Star receiver Corey Sutton also returned to the lineup after being suspended for 2 games. He had 7 catches for 58 yards, which helped put App State up 27-17 at the half. The Tar Heels didn't go away though. They scored 2 touchdowns in the second half to put them down by 3 with 30 seconds left in the game. The Tar Heels received the ball at their own 25-yard line and had one last chance to either tie or win the game. They drove to the App State 39-yard line with 5 seconds remaining and sent kicker Noah Ruggles to attempt a 56-yard field goal to tie the game. App State's Nick Hampton blocked the field goal on the final play of the game to hand UNC a 34-31 defeat in Chapel Hill. This is the first time App State has beaten a Power 5 team since upsetting Michigan in 2007. In the post-game press conference, players and Coach Drinkwitz didn't treat this game as if it was an upset, but as if it was just another game.
Well, we knew we were going to have to rotate guys, and we knew that everybody had to be prepared for their opportunity. And opportunities of a lifetime must be seized within the lifetime of an opportunity. And today was a 3-hour opportunity, and everybody had to be ready to seize it, and they did.
We said that we're not going to hope to make this happen. We're going to make this happen. You know, like to us, this isn't an upset, and that's what Coach Drinkwitz said from the beginning. He said we attack each and every week 1-0. Like that's how we attack each and every week, no matter who we're playing. That's App State football, 1-0. Put our head down. We're going to go to work. So it's just another game, and tomorrow we're going to learn from this game, learn from our mistakes, and move on to Coastal Carolina.
In Chapel Hill and for the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Justin Lundy.
In Austin, a lot of emotions in the air right now for Appalachian State, for the team, for the fans. I think you and I can both agree that maybe this one was a long time coming for this program.
Absolutely. I mean, this is our first Power 5 win since that win in 2007 against Michigan. You and I were both there against Penn State last year. You know, it was heartbreaking to see that from the field. We got the privilege of going to this game this weekend, and it was an awesome experience. It was great seeing all those fans there. But I think Coach Drink said it best when he said that this is not an underdog win. You beat the team, you don't beat the logo. You have to take it with a grain of salt. You know, these seniors on the team, they deserve this. They played against Tennessee and they lost in overtime. They lost that Wake game to a missed field goal. They lost the Penn State game in overtime. So yesterday was absolutely what we deserved, and Mountaineers are moving to 3-0, which is huge, and we got our eyes set on the Sun Belt now, Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, and I mean, those Power 5 wins are big for Group of 5 teams trying to get inside that top 25. Appalachian State obviously a part of that. I want to talk about the game a little bit, though. I think we all came into the game expecting maybe a little bit of a shootout after what we had seen from App State's offense against ETSU and Charlotte. Obviously, Chapel Hill probably being a better defensive unit than both those teams, but App State's offense really got it done again, put up 34 points, and Zach Thomas did not throw a touchdown in this game, but was incredibly efficient. 20 of 29, 224 yards, did have the one interception on a throw where he was receiving some pressure in the pocket, a little bit of an ill-advised throw, but I thought his day was really solid overall, took care of the football for the most part, and really was able to move the ball down the field. And a lot of those plays where he was making plays to get down the field, it was Darrington Evans punching the ball in for the Mountaineers. 3 touchdowns for Darrington Evans, 19 carries for 78 yards for him on the day. Another solid rushing performance for him, really, against a team that has been notoriously good against the run this season, North Carolina. You know, Evans right now is 12th in the nation in rushing, and you have to consider App State had a bye week. So he missed a week of football, still cracks that top 15 in rushing. He sat at first overall in rushing for the first week and then was third overall after week 2. So he's having himself quite a season. One more name I'll point out offensively that I thought was big for the Mountaineers, Thomas Hennigan. I think a lot of people expected Corey Sutton to come into that game after a 2-game suspension and really be the main target, but it was clear that Zach Thomas continued that connection with Thomas Hennigan. He had a big day, 6 receptions for 90 yards, 2 of those receptions coming on third down to move the chains for the Mountaineers. So some big plays from Thomas Hennigan on Saturday.
Absolutely, and we knew that the offense could do their thing, but we were a little nervous about that defense after the Charlotte game. You know, they let up 500 yards of total offense. It makes you think a little bit, but the boys showed up. I mean, there's no question. Jordan Fair led all tacklers in the game with 7 solo and 15 shared. You know, injuries were a big thing here. In the secondary sideline, Sean Jolly, John Charles, and Desmond Franklin, they were all out for parts of the game, and the defense was still able to step up, put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. He's a younger quarterback, so they know if they could get into the pocket and mess with him a little bit, he was going to make a couple mistakes, and they did exactly what they needed to do. It's definitely smart to keep some eyes on on these injuries and make sure that, you know, everything's still moving smoothly, but overall I'm impressed with the way the defense played. Demetrius Taylor, I mean, that man came in and just took over.
Monster day.
4 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, an interception, a pass deflection, and a touchdown.
And I'll point out, too, really quick, that pass deflection, I was right there in front of it. Chapel Hill ran a slant route into the end zone. There was nobody sitting with the receiver. That pass deflection saved a touchdown. So when you consider the forced fumbles and the interception and the pass deflection, you could say 21-point swing on the scoreboard from Demetrius Taylor alone.
Absolutely. MVP of the year, maybe. This is one of the best performances I've seen in a while, for sure.
Absolutely. He had a crazy day on defense, and Chapel Hill had their way on offense a little bit in the second half, especially. They put together 2 really long scoring drives, one for 98 yards, another for 80 yards that both ended in touchdowns, but ultimately App State gets not only another win by a blocked field goal, but it's another Power 5 win. Back-to-back Power 5 wins for App State, ending on blocked field goals. This time the 57-yard attempt that Akeem Davis-Gaither got his hand on, which was really exciting for the Mountaineers to be able to end in that type of fashion. The fan presence at the game was unbelievable. Keeping an eye on how App State is progressing through the AP poll, though, because of this game, App State got 24 votes this week to be inside that top 25. That puts them at 32nd in the country. And that means they're now the second highest ranked team in the state behind Wake Forest, who's had an unbelievable start to their season, and Wake sits at 26th, so right on their tail. Appalachian State chasing to be the highest ranked team in North Carolina right now.
And I think we can do it. You know, we got a couple games coming up. We're going to move into the Sun Belt, and we're going to come into these games where we can score a little bit more and we can beef up those stats, make us look really good. And then another Power 5 game coming in November at USC.
Absolutely a big one for the Mountaineers. After the break, we'll head to Marnie Bond for this week's Mountaineer Spotlight. Stay tuned.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
So I heard you scored 3 goals this weekend. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really confident about my corners. They're going really well, and I think we should have made more goals out of it, but I think we did a really good job in the weekend.
So I know you are abroad from Netherlands. How have they made you feel back down here in Boone? Is it nice being down here? Do you like it? What's the difference?
It's so nice coming in here freshman year. They took me into the group right away. It was really easy to get in a team that was like really helping you right away. It made the transfer really easy, and yeah, since freshman year I've been keep growing and like everything is getting better. So I love it. I love Boone.
Awesome. So what are some of the challenges you face being an offensive player?
Well, we play more and more difficult teams. Like we're playing really good teams. We have Miami this week, who has been really good in our MAC tournament. And I think if we play the good teams, we just have to come out strong and play our own game, and we can beat them. So,
what are your goals individually to help the team as a whole?
I hope to score more goals as last year. I had 11 goals last year, so I hope at least get 12 or more. And just step up as a leader, like helping the team off the field and on the field, and just like keep up my communication in the field and set everyone up. So,
well, thank you for answering some questions.
Yeah,
Back to you guys in the studio.
App State women's soccer redshirt sophomore Abby Rand scored the tying goal in the 86th minute that led to the 1-1 draw in the Sun Belt opener against Troy on Friday evening at the Ted Mackerel Soccer Complex. App State moves to 2-4-2 on the season and 0-0-1 in the league. It wasn't until 4 minutes left in regulation the Mountaineers capitalized on one of their 5 shots on goal that led to the eventual tie. Kristen Brown notched her team-leading 5th assist of the season with a corner that connected with Rand for her header for her first career score. App State and Troy's defense took over from that point, with both squads coming up with 0 shots on frame in the final 12 minutes. The Mountaineers were on the attack from the start with an 8-3 shot advantage in the first half. App State outshot Troy 15-10 while holding a 7-3 advantage in corners. Newald led the way with 3 shots while 5 different athletes tallied a shot on goal. Carrie Eagleston played all 110 minutes with a pair of saves. The Mountaineers take on Coastal Carolina on Thursday at 7 p.m. in Conway, North Carolina.
App State men's soccer bounced back with a 4-2 road win against UNCG on Saturday evening at UNCG Soccer Stadium. App State improves its record to 5-2 with its first road win of the season. The Mountaineers offense came alive with the season-high goals and the most scored on the road since 2009. It also ties the most goals allowed by the Spartans this season. App used a first-half surge to take a commanding lead with 3 goals in the first 29 minutes of the game. Parker Cross' free kick met Zyko Harris in the 18th minute to put the black and gold on the board for a 1-0 edge. It was Harris's second goal of the season, while Cross tallied his first assist. UNCG scored 3 minutes later in the 21st minute from a penalty kick by Albert Pedra. The tie didn't last long as Demetrius Mordiakis gave the Mountaineers a commanding 2-1 lead with a nice strike off a missed shot off the post, giving the sophomore his first goal of the game. A minute later, Kellen Swells started what turned into a stellar day for the sophomore. Nailing a shot from outside the box, they gave the Mountaineers a 2-goal advantage. Kellen Swales recorded his first multi-score performance after going halfway down the field and placing the shot in the net. The goal gave App a 2-goal lead, which led to the eventual victory and a 2-0 record when coming off a loss this season. Mayola Kenyeu earned his first points in the black and gold uniform with the assist to the sophomore. Appalachian State will return home on Wednesday at 7 p.m. where it faces UNC Asheville.
Appalachian State Volleyball dropped its non-conference final to Maryland by a 3-0 score in Columbia, South Carolina on Saturday evening. Grace Morrison paced the Mountaineers with 7 kills, while Kara Spicer and Emma Longley added 5 apiece. On defense, Emma Riley and Sam Bickley each had 5 digs, with McCall Denny and Longley finishing with 4 apiece as well. Trailing 14-6 in the second set, the Mountaineers captured 6 straight points before 4 consecutive Terrapin points pushed their lead back to 21-16. Maryland went on to win the set 25-19 to take a 2-0 edge. A service ace from Spicer tied the score at 6-6 in the third set, and App State pulled within 2 points at 12-10 before 5 straight Maryland points gave them a 17-10 lead. The Terrapins completed the sweep by winning the set 25-18. Rebecca Rath paced Maryland with a match-high 10 kills. Erica Pritchard and Emma Schreiner each added 8 kills. The Mountaineers will now shift their focus to Sunbelt play, which begins on Friday at 6:30 p.m. against Georgia State in the Holmes Center. The Mountaineers also welcome Georgia Southern to the High Country on September 29th for a 12:30 p.m. match.
Appalachian State University field hockey recorded 3 defensive saves and a 4-1 defeat to number 1 North Carolina on Sunday afternoon. The Mountaineers made 3 defensive saves in the first half to take just a 1-goal deficit into the second half. Junior Annette Giroux notched the first 2 App State defensive saves, raising her career record to 15 stops. Sophomore Brenna Schoenbachler made App State's 3rd defensive save, helping App State preserve a 2-1 score entering the second half. Sophomore Friedrich Stegen inserted the ball before junior Chloe Bell used an effective stick stop, so Vril Van Hertum could fire home her 3rd goal of the weekend. Van Hertum missed on a penalty corner attempt less than a minute before her goal tied the game 1-1. The Tar Heels, who extended their winning streak to 30 straight games on Sunday, used a goal in the 23rd minute to take the lead for good. UNC would add 2 more goals in the 3rd period to extend its lead to 4-1. Senior goalkeeper Rachel Gaines made 5 saves in the 4th period to keep the Tar Heels off the board in the final frame. Freshman Addie Clark also made her first appearance in the net for App State with just over 2 minutes remaining in regulation. App State returns to action when they face Mid-American Conference foe Miami on Friday at 3 p.m.
Appalachian State men's cross country claimed the top 6 spots and 10 of the top 11 overall to win the Mountains to Sea Open at the Don Kennedy Trails on Friday evening. The Mountaineers finished with 15 points, with Northern Kentucky placing 2nd with 57 and Lees McRae finishing 3rd with 67. Isaac Benz led the Mountaineers across the finish line for the 2nd time this season. He crossed in 25 minutes and 7 seconds, which was just 1 second shy of his personal record. Ryan Brown crossed the 2nd overall spot with a PR time of 25 minutes and 16 seconds. George Hotling was right behind in 3rd with a PR time of 25 minutes 38 seconds.
Appalachian State women's cross country took the top 5 spots and 8 of the top 10 places to win the team title at the Mountains to Sea Open on Friday evening. App State finished with 15 points to win the meet. Northern Kentucky was 2nd with 48 points, and Lees McRae was 3rd with 85. For the 2nd straight meet, Izzy Evely led the Mountaineers across the finish line with a personal record of 17 minutes and 25 seconds. Her time ranks as the 5th fastest time in program history and is the 3rd fastest time ever run by a sophomore in program history. Kylie Frady finished 2nd overall in a PR time of 17:50, and Sarah Venable was right behind in 3rd place with a PR time of 18 minutes. The Mountaineers will take next weekend off and compete as a split squad on October 5th. A group will head to Louisville for the Greater Louisville Classic, and another group will run at the USC Upstate at the USC Upstate Invitational.
Stay tuned after the break as we head to campus to find out your thoughts on Mountaineers sports in this week's Q&A game.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for 75 years, he's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Saturday, after I had a huge test against Chapel Hill, huge environment. The naysayers say we don't have a chance. We're the underdogs. What are your thoughts on our victory?
I loved it. I loved every part of it, especially going into the student section. I was over there in Chapel Hill wearing gold. Yeah, I was stoked to see us win.
It was just a big win for the school overall, first ACC win in 19 years.
Jumping up and down, ran out the door, screaming, everybody yelling, so it was pretty awesome.
We did a great job, and in the future I think we're going to do even better, and I think we're pretty strong this year.
You could see a drastic difference in the energy between the app students and crowd and then the UNC crowd, because they'd sit down every 5 minutes and just sit there.
Well, I honestly didn't expect us to pull it out. In the end, our heart pushed us through and we showed that we are the better team.
Well, it was an excellent win.
It was a really great game.
I think it was pretty awesome because a lot of people think that we're not like a big school, but we can really take on bigger teams and beat them and show them that we have what it takes to beat them.
Man, we turned and looked at them and they said,
oh man, it was awesome.
Anytime App goes in, you always expect competition, but
don't let me lose any money on this game.
It was a great game. I was honestly a little surprised that we pulled it off.
It was awesome. I actually ended up sitting next to App State alumni, and we were sitting next to all these Chapel Hill fans, and we kept cheering them on. They looked at us all funny and were like, sorry.
And it was awesome walking out of that stadium in App colors.
I wouldn't really say it was too much of an upset.
It was a great win. I knew the boys would prevail.
Finally get a victory against a Power 5 team, and it was super cool, and I'm super proud of our school for that.
Oh, they were devastated.
Oh, they were upset. They were walking out of there they were just so disappointed. They didn't even want to look at us when we walked out there. We were all happy and excited, and they were just all bummed out. The parents walking out of there why'd I even come? It was Parents Weekend. We lost to what we would call us an underdog, but it was really exciting. I'm really proud of App State football.
I felt a win coming all along.
I was just sitting there. I was standing above someone, and I remember there's some Chapel Hill guys been talking trash to us the whole time, and we were just hoping, and then it blocked, and it went crazy, man. Everyone in my section started jumping around. It was awesome.
It was like one of those where you're about to stand up and scream at the TV.
In my personal opinion, I didn't really think we were the underdog.
Oh my gosh, and every App stand ever literally stood up. We were yelling louder than they were, and it was fun.
Now, what was going through your mind? 5 seconds left on the clock. Chapel Hill got a chance to tie the game with the field goal to go to overtime. What was going through your mind?
I thought there was no way he was going to make that.
I was just really hoping that App State could do the impossible and pull off something to keep this field goal from happening, and somehow they did.
It was either they miss and we win, or we lose.
No way they're hitting that field goal.
That blocked field goal at the end of the game. It was something, man.
All I gotta say is flashback to 2007. I guess we have a tradition of blocking kicks.
It's the exact same situation, so it's man, if they could just do it again, and sure enough.
Oh yeah, I think it's kind of like Michigan all over again.
It's like Michigan all over again almost.
Kind of reminded me of seeing the Michigan upset a while back. It was pretty cool.
Since Michigan in 2007 against a Power 5 team victory, so I just thought it was good.
And now it's time for our Player of the Week. This week's athlete is none other than defensive end Demetrius Taylor.
Taylor put up a dominant performance in App State's win over UNC on Saturday, finishing the victory with 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a 20-yard fumble return for a touchdown, and a 19-yard interception to set up another touchdown. Those numbers led to him being named the National Defensive Player of the Week in College Sports Madness.
Taylor is the first defender since at least 2000 with 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble return, a touchdown, and an interception in the same game.
That's all the time we have, though, this week for Mountaineers Sports. Remember to tune in every Tuesday at 8 to catch up on the latest in App State sporting news.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Snapchat at the A Game Sports for daily updates for everything Mountaineers.
See you guys next week on
The A Game.